Hello, everyone, and thank you for coming back and listening to the Ultimate Dance Business podcast. This week, we are going to be chatting about 7 different ways in which we can attract new students into your school right now. So we're going to work through each of these different kind of topics. We're not going to go into them in huge detail, but hopefully you're going to be inspired to take action on a couple of these. So my number one first tip is putting together some kind of a referral competition, because there is no better way to attract students into your school by using current students and parents, because they're already your raving fans. They already have your back. They're your advocates, and when people sign a child up for an activity or come to an adult class, like, they've taken that decision and they want to back up and support that decision by telling everybody what a great idea it was. So you could maybe look at having some kind of a competition that you run, which is going to inspire your parents to just share that word of mouth, share that love a little bit more. So, this could be something like, giving away a hoodie, or maybe you have some kind of a teddy bear that's like the school mascot that you sell, or maybe you're going to give some kind of an extra class for a month. They can try out a new class on you for a month. Decide what it is you could gift to your students that take part in your referral program. And then what you could do is you could have a period of time, maybe like a month or a term, where you run this competition. And for everybody that brings along a friend and they sign up, they get, a point on your referral board. And then the person who brings in the most people gets some kind of reward. And, you could decide for this to be something small that you do just for 1 week, or something much bigger that you may carry on over, say, a whole term. So having a referral competition is my first one. All right, number 2. You might not love this one very much, but I hate to say it, it's a really good tactic for getting new students in. Facebook Lives. Yes, I know. I know some of you are probably not going to do this one, but you know what? How desperately do you want to get more students in the door? Like, I know none of us love doing it, and it makes us a bit nervous, and we worry that we might make a fool of ourselves, or that people won't listen. Like, none of that matters. Like, what I would say here, bit of tough love possibly, is like, get over yourselves, folks. I'm sorry, that's so tough. I don't normally go quite to those extremes, but it really is down to that, like, just get on, record something if you can't bear to be live, or go live and just kind of like share it. Initially just go live to like your best friend or your husband or your mum. Like, you can practice, you can choose who sees your Facebook lives. So you could just practice it initially. And then when you feel a bit more confident, you can go for it and do it on your school's Facebook page. But Facebook loves Facebook Lives more than any other thing that you can do on Facebook or on IG if you're on Instagram. It will help you to put that out to more people, way more than a post or a video. So maybe you can bring yourself to use Facebook Live this week to get some more students. Just a little heads up on that one. If you do choose to do a Facebook Live, always have an intention of what you want people to do that happen to listen in, or people will watch afterwards as well. Don't forget, it's not something that just happens for the few people that see it. You can save it and it will go up on your page or your group, and people will come back and watch it afterwards. It's an asset that you're building. What do you want them to do? What's the intention behind the Facebook Live? Like, it could be that you just want to engage with your students and build relationships, and so you come on and you just have a chit chat. But it could be that you have got something coming up. You've got an event, or you want to sell some more uniform, or maybe you've got a bring a buddy week. Whatever it is, have what we call a call to action We call this a CTA, something that's going to actually make them take action that you talk to them about on the call. So you might say something like, before we finish, not the call, sorry, the Facebook Live, before we finish, like, you guys, I'd love you to go to the website and check out because this is something special that's happening this week. Or you might say, please comment, below if you're interested in trying this new class that I've been telling you about, because places are limited. Like, you always need to give people something to do as a reaction to your Facebook Live. Okay, number 3. Now, I'm not a massive fan of paying money on social media for boosting posts. It's not the best way of using your paid budget, your paid marketing budget, but it does still work and it does still have a place. And what I would suggest is, why don't you try boosting one Facebook post this week? Like, maybe just put $10, £10 into it, just a small budget. What a boost does is it basically pays Facebook to show your post to more people that already like your page. So it doesn't necessarily go out to people that aren't already in your environment, aren't part of your followers. It just means that instead of 10 people out of 100 seeing the post that you just put up, a few more people will see it. So I would be very kind of intentional as to what post it is. So maybe you've got a little event coming up that's going to be a nice little money earner for you. Maybe you've got a guest teacher coming in to do a workshop, or maybe some new tracksuits, like something that you want more people to know about and see and take action on, like we talked about just now. And therefore, you want as many people on your Facebook page to see it as possible. And in case you're not aware, like, when you post something in your group or on your page or on Instagram, everybody that follows you does not see it. Like, Facebook are a little bit crafty. They will only show that to a small percentage. And so you have to be posting a lot for a lot of people to be seeing your stuff. And also you have to be posting, encouraging people to actually like make a comment or like or share something, because if they don't take any action at all, eventually Facebook drops them off your algorithm and stops showing them anything. And you might be thinking to yourself, oh, Deborah, is that why I always have the same parents that always seem to comment and loads of people that don't? Yes, it's because you've dropped off of everybody else's news feeds. They don't see your stuff. It's not because they don't want to comment. They're just not seeing it. So by paying for a boosted post, something that you want people to actually take action on, just helps to re-engage. It kind of reignites your group a little bit, if you like. Okay, number 4. This is a big one. This is a really powerful one. Like, if you can go back through your emails for, say, the last couple of months and find all those people that made a general inquiry that maybe like didn't really come back to you after you sent them an email, you never know. There might be some in there that you actually didn't get back to yourself. Like, you just forgot. You might look at them and go, oh gosh, like they emailed like 6 weeks ago and I never replied. Or, like I said, hopefully not too many of those. But like I also said, you might have people that replied, like you sent them the information and then they just ghosted you. It doesn't mean those people are still like definitely not interested. It just means that they just got really busy and they forgot and it wasn't priority. So, they were just making a little general inquiry and your email came back to them, but they didn't have time to answer and then it just got forgotten. Or it might be that it wasn't right for them at that time and they didn't actually reply and tell you that, they just disappeared. Or it might be that you landed in their promotions folder in spam and they never even read it. They never even saw it. So what I would suggest is that you go back through your inbox, unless you've already emptied it, and you find a whole bunch of people that came towards you. They're people that inquired. They made the effort to contact you. So you know that they had some level of interest. Email them one sentence. And this is the trick. There's actually a really good tactic around this. So please don't be tempted to embellish it and to go into one paragraph or 3 or 4 sentences, like one sentence. And your sentence needs to go something like, "Hi, I was wondering if you are still interested in a dance class for your child. All the best, Deborah." That's it. "Hi, I was wondering if you're still interested in a dance class for yourself." If it's an adult inquiry, that's all. It's short, it's quick, it's easy for people to read. It's personal. People think that you have, literally taken the time yourself, which of course you have. And because it's not a great long-winded email, they will read it. And it's just the little prompt, just the little nudge that they might have needed. And they'll come back to you and say, "Well, actually, yes. Could you send me the information again, please? I'm really sorry." Or, "Yes, I can't remember what it was you told me last time. Could you send it again?" It's hugely powerful, hugely powerful. People have great results from that. So you could try that one literally in 2 minutes when you finish listening to the rest of my podcast. Are you looking to get precious time back in your life so you can make more time doing the things you love? DanceBiz is a class management and booking software from the lovely folk at Think Smart that will automate and streamline all your dance school admin. It's the perfect tool for all those tasks that just seem to take so long and will help you to work smarter, not harder. Message me today, folks, and I can give you a code so you can get 2 months free. Okay, number 5. There are going to be some local social media groups, like, I don't know, say you live in Weybridge. It could be something like Weybridge Community Group or Weybridge Mums and Toddlers Group. Go into those groups. Make sure you have permission first, because some groups don't like it. But go into the group and actually not necessarily post an advert as such, but maybe share something great that was going on in your school at the moment. So it may be that you just want to share, just wanted to put out there, some of the kids in the local Weybridge area have worked so hard recently, and we're so thrilled as a dance school because they've taken exams and we had 100% pass rate. And, the fact that these children are getting to experience exams and learn how to be dedicated is such a lovely life lesson that we're teaching them. If this is something that you love for your child, and then you give them one call to action, one way of contacting you at the bottom. You need to get out there. Like, the local community need to hear about you, but they don't always just want to see an advert thrown in their face all the time. Like, you have to nurture people. You have to warm them up to the idea of contacting you. It's like kind of going onto social media and saying, "Hey, want to go on a date? Like, meet me in this place at this time and bring some money and let's hang out." Like, people don't want to go on a date with anybody unless they've learned a little bit about them, unless they've decided that, they sound like they're quite nice and they might be their cup of tea, their kind of person, and they like the look of it and they like the way they talk, and like they feel quite warm towards this person, they feel quite drawn to them, and then they might say, "Yeah, actually, I'll meet you for a coffee." Like, that's what we have to do with our advertising. So why don't you try that little tactic this week? Stick a couple of posts on some local groups. Don't sell to them, although you will leave your information. Just tell them something awesome about your school and how the children in the community are benefiting from it. Okay, number 6. I hope you're writing all this down, folks. I hope you got notepads out. Number 6 is contacting local schools or organizations in your area to offer a free workshop. And in return, you'd like permission to hand out information about your school to their entire school or their entire group. So it could be a youth group or something like Brownies or Scouts, or it could be a play group. Like, there's heaps of things out in your area. But, offer your services for free tell them how awesome it could be. Once you've done a couple, you could also have testimonials from groups that you've been to before, and then put yourself out there and make it sound exclusive. Like, say, I'm offering 3 local or 1 local community group one of our free workshops this month. Like, would you like to snap up that opportunity for us to come into your school? And the key thing is here, getting your information out to people. It's another form of marketing. But when people actually experience what you do, rather than just see and hear what you do, they are way more likely to want to sign up and get involved. So actually being able to see, meet, and teach people face to face is huge. Okay, everybody, we have one more. Number 7 is all about getting your team on board with the growth of your school. Now, obviously, if you don't have anybody that works in your school and it's just you, then this is one for you to park for now and think about maybe in the future if you end up with some teachers. But for those of you that do have teachers that work for you, I used to get a little bit frustrated because I was really good at nurturing the kids in terms of them joining new classes and exploring some of the other things that we did. So when a child had been with me for 4 or 5 weeks, I was already having conversations with the child and the parents in terms of, the feedback on how the child is doing, what they've been doing so great, what we feel their ability is. Like, I'd love to see them. Have you thought about starting ballet? Because she's doing so well in her little contemporary class. Like, the ballet will really help to back up her strength and her technique and da-da-da. I don't need to tell you all about those things. But I would go out and have these conversations, or I would ring a parent, or I would email them. Like, I would be already thinking about the other joyous classes that we have that the child could enjoy. And I would be, sharing that information with a parent in those first few weeks. And I was really good at that, I guess, because, the business was mine and I wanted people into doing more classes, of course. But I wasn't great at training my teachers to act and behave like that. Like, I kind of thought, right, I'm paying them for their time. That's something they should all naturally be doing. Well, they're not going to naturally do that if you haven't taught them to do it properly. Like, if you haven't really taught them how to do it, like, it needs to be part of ongoing training that you give to your teachers, teaching them how to, in a businessy term, we call it upselling, teaching them how to upsell. I like to think of it more as nurturing your children. But if you don't ask them and you don't train them on how to do that, they won't. Like, they just really won't. Or if they do, they won't do it in quite the same way that you would like them to do it. So maybe you could organize a quick training this week, if not next week, or as soon as you can get them together. You can even do it on Zoom now that we all embrace Zoom. And just talk them through that process. This is what I do. This is the conversation I have. This is generally when I would start having these conversations. Maybe you can do a bit of role play with them, or give them a little process to go through. I even had like a little script that I gave to my teachers, so that if anyone wasn't terribly confident with this, that they would kind of have a little script that they could follow, so to speak. So getting your team on board to do some upselling, you would be amazed. Like, I bet your teachers could get you some of your current students doing more classes literally this week if they really put their minds to it. Okay, so there were my 7 tips for gaining new students this week. So quick recap: we had the referral competition, we had the Facebook Lives. I know you love me for making you do that one. We had the £10 boost, the Facebook boost. Then we had number 4 was the 1-sentence email. That's huge and really quick and easy. You could do that right now. Then 5 was going into local community groups, not to sell, but to nurture. 6 was offering workshops to your local community. And then the last one was about getting your team on board. I hope you loved those. I hope you're going to try some. I would love to know if you do. don't forget, you can come and find me on Facebook and Instagram and like tell me what you've tried. Let me know what's worked, what hasn't worked. Like if you're not sure on one of those things, one of those strategies, and you want some more help with it, really happy to do that. And I have a Facebook Live that I do every Friday called Friday Vibes. It's a great time where you can come and share what's been happening. I always ask everybody what's gone well for you this week, and we do a little Q&A at the end, so you can always ask me more questions there as well. So yeah, have fun with your 5 little strategies, and I look forward to you coming and joining me again really soon. Have a great day.